Good day, Tamers. So, I don't do many deck profiles here, mostly because people are having fun. It's not really my thing. Sometimes I do market watch, sometimes I do news, but when a deck does take my interest, I do want to show you the world that I have something interesting, as you may have seen in the past, some of my Imperial stuff or my Mildred stuff. But now we're going to do a puppet lock. Not quite that bad, but it does sound quite interesting. We're going to start off with these level 2 little babies over here. Cairo, both from ST19 and EX7, are very interesting in this deck. They are the canonical baby for the deck until we get a better one down the line, but currently they're pretty darn good. We're going to run 4 of the ST19s. This is when attacking once per turn. If you have another Digimon, draw 1, and this deck likes to have multiple bodies on the field at all times. Don't worry, tokens are also considered Digimon. We're also running the 1 of the Koromon. All of your opponent's security Digimon get minus 2000 DP. Now, I believe this is a blanket statement. Now, depending how you want to run your deck, you might want to switch it around. You might want to go 2 of these, 3, 4 of these, 1. There's a lot of draw power in this deck already, so it could be better to have the Cairo EX7 as 4. But as of now, I like this build currently as it is, but we'll tweak it over time as I cry deep sorrows into it. We're going to run ST19 Shumon. This is our main searcher for the deck. With real top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with the puppet trait, which is all the Digimon besides 1, and then 1 card with the Liberator traits amongst them to the hand. We are running level 4 Liberators, level 5 Liberators, level 6 Liberators. We are running the option card, and we are running the Tamers, so we can see what's going on later on. But for now, I do think this is probably just a really good blanket searcher, and will be really awkward if you have to play this one into the breeding area, I think, because the other ones are also a bit finicky. Pawn Chessmon from ST19, the yellow-black one, which is the on-play trash 1 card with puppet trait in your hand. Draw 2. You know me, Castrogito. I love archetypal discard 1. Draw 2. They're very powerful. They're very interesting. And as this deck is a puppet deck, for the most part, you're going to have a puppet in hand. Probably. Even if it's one you don't want to get rid of too early. But drawing 2 could be a boat. We have the black-yellow Chessmon from ST19, which is blocker, and then on deletion by trashing 1 card with puppet trait in hand. Draw 2. Again, another way to just get your deck into your hand and do what you want to do. Obviously, there is a certain deck that's currently out there that didn't really get touched on the limit list recently, so Mirage could be out there as the big bad wolf into your chaperone mon. Pawn Chessmon from BT13, the yellow-black one. On deletion, if it's your turn, you may play 1 level 3 or lower Digimon card with Chessmon in its name. And that's all you really need to care about for this one. So just having access to churning out your Chessmon is pretty good. You are running 12 Chessmon in this deck, if that helps at all. And then just the 4 Shumon, but they are all puppets. Shushu EX7. Now, I'm running 4 of this one. I could be persuaded to change this to the 2 of. When Digivolving, if you have 1 or less Tamers, you may play 1 Ariser from your hand without paying the cost. Now, I really like this one. I think we're all looking at these. Now you can play up to 2 of. I think Bandai has kind of figured out that a lot of the decks that we play now, Tamers kind of like have to synergize with each other. Tamer players are now saying, hey, you can have up to 2 Tamers on the field now because of us. And I think that's a good way to be. We are playing 4 of these. This also has the your turn, all of your opponent's security Digimon get minus 3000 DP. Again, this might be like an additional bonus, just having this on the field as your deck isn't particularly bulky. And this could be ways of getting around some of your opponent's scary Digimon. Shushu from ST19, this is the security one. I am only running 2 of these. This could change though in the future. Again, I want to play this out and see how it goes. You may play 1 of your Liberator traits with a play cost of 4 or less from the hand or trash for this paying the cost. You are essentially either playing the level 4 Shushu, which is 4 cost. You're going to play a Riser, or you're going to play the Shu. That's all you can really do here. We do run the option card, but that is an option card, and option cards have a cast cost and not a play cost. If you don't believe me, talk to your local judge, and they'll be annoyed that you had to ask them. Probably. Overclock, puppet traits. At the end of your turn, by deleting 1 of your tokens or 1 of your other Digimon with the puppet trait, this Digimon can attack a player without suspending. I like Overclock, but I don't like the fact that it's not as good as Vortex. Vortex is Blitz and Rush technically on one keyword that is just nuts. Overclock is very good though if your Digimon is able to swing, but you want to go up into the next level and you want to swing after that. which we'll go to further on down the line. This also has your turn, all of your opponent's security Digimon get minus 3000 DP. So having access to maybe minus 7 on security Digimon, even on level 4, or level 5 rather, is fairly strong, especially since most of your level 5s will be 7 to 8k, meaning that you will be punching over some of the Mega Digimon in security. And then last but not least, we're going to run 2 of the P135s. I would recommend picking up your promos where you can. Last I checked, they were available and they weren't massively expensive, but your mileage may vary depending on where you are in the world and how likely you are to pick them up before this deck profile goes crazy and viral, maybe. When Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, one of their Digimon can't attack Digimon and gains a security attack +1. I will add, please be careful when using this one with the cards coming up very shortly. Your turn while you have Arisa, this Digimon gains jamming. Jamming, very good in a deck like this. You're very squishy. If you can get an extra hit off early, it's fantastic. Let's do something like that, yeah? When attacking once per turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn. Again, that's pretty good. It really does depend on how you want to play this deck. Minus DP is just a very good mechanic in the game. I specifically hate it, but I will use it if I have to. But then I think having minus security Digimon is better than having jamming in some degree. Then we're going to go to level 5s. We've got Chaperonemon from EX7. I prefer this one. It does have overclock on it, but when Digivolve, you may play one level 3 Digimon card with a puppet trait from your hand without paying the cost. All of your level 3s are puppets. That's 16 puppets you get access to. Which means that if you Digivolve into this and it goes over to your opponent's turn, you just play that at level 3, you can pop that level 3 and you can swing. That might be game. All turns return. As an inherit effect, when this Digimon will leave the battle area other than by one of your effects, by deleting one of your tokens or one of your other Digimon with the puppet trait, prevent it from leaving. This synergizes well with a card that comes up in the level 6s. Hope you enjoy that this deck does have some synergies with it. And then, probably my favourite card in the whole deck. Etamon from EX5. Oh, don't leave just yet. It doesn't get better, I promise. On play, when Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP and gains. Start of your main phase, this Digimon attacks. Well, what's Etamon without a little surprise? But we'll be coming for that surprise in a minute, yeah, don't worry. Etamon has the inheritance effect of opponent's turn once per turn. When an opponent's Digimon attacks, you may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may play one black or yellow Digimon card with a play cost of 3 or less amongst them, by paying the cost, trash the rest. All of your level 3s are free costed. I understand this is meant to be for like Suka and Numon, so obviously you can play out your cheap cost versions of those. But with this, you can play all of your level 3s, which means you have more you have more puppets, more pawns, more shoes. So you do have access to more things you can go into. And fingers crossed you actually hit one of them and not be like me and probably mill all the cards I want to be milling. Into level 6s now, we do play 2 of the Queen Chessmon here, blocker, just for the sake of it, as well as all turns where one of your Digimon with Chessmon in its name is deleted, unsuspend this Digimon. That's not once per turn, and there are ways for you to continue to play out Chessmon in this deck, and basically make it so that you almost never ever run out of blocks on your opponent's turn. Crazy, I say that now. Playing 4 Truby Aces. The only reason we're playing 4 of this rather than like maybe a 2 and a 3/3. One, it's an ace card, so it makes it really good into the Etamon setup, but also it's the only card in the deck that is non-searchable, and this is where we might change around the options, but for now, we'll go with the options when we get there. We do have Blast Digivolution, which obviously everyone should know is when your opponent has to swing. Thank you, Etamon. You can get to Digivolve up. You have Alliance, which means it's really good because you're going to have lots of little bodies around. And on play, when Digivolving, you may play 1 green or yellow Digimon, level 4 or lower, without paying the cost. Then, to the end of your opponent's turn, one of their Digimon gets minus 4000 DP for each other Digimon you have. This deck likes to put bodies on the field, and that includes tokens. There's a good chance that if you're mid-game and your opponent's not really dealing with your board, you'll have 2 or 3 other Digimon on the field, plus the one you just put down. You're popping level 7s with DP minus. It's very aggressive, very egregious. Etamon's already give you minus 3000 DP as well. I can see this taking over, and this could be why Truby Ace just disappeared off the market. But we don't truly know. But I like it. I think it's a really good swarm deck idea. And then we're playing 2 of the EX7 Cinderellamon. Has overclock. We should know what overclock is by now. In the start of your main phase, when Digivolving, you may play 1 familiar token, which is a Digimon that's yellow with 3000 DP. And on deletion, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for the turn. Then when attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 6000 DP for the turn. Everything this deck wants to do is swarm and crush. And it might not be the best deck in the game, but it looks interesting now that we got rid of the other swarming yellow deck. So, with Cinderella constantly bringing out tokens, and you having the ability to dodge basically removal once per turn, I think it's a very interesting take on things, as well as having Overclock to make you swing into your opponent. We are playing currently 4 of the Wonder Stomp. Now, this could be a case of changing this out for in training cards, maybe memory boosts, maybe some Heaven's Judgment, however you want to play your deck. But main, draw 1, and then you may play 1 level 3 Digimon card with the puppet trait from your hand without paying the cost. Now remember, we have access to 16 puppet traded Digimon, and you're basically paying it for a 1 less cost. And some of those effects are pretty good, you know. On play, trash 1, draw 2, search, be a menace, you know, the good things. But I do think Wonder Stomp is a good idea. You are generally doing the same effect that you would be in training. You obviously just aren't getting to Digivolve for a reduced cost, but you are getting to play a free cost Digimon essentially for 0. And then coming to our final bit, our Tamers here. We have the Chessmon Tamer, which some of you thinking might be a bit strange. 4 cost Tamer, but on play you may play 1 Digimon with Pawn Chessmon in its name from your hand without paying the cost. And then all turns, when you play a 2-coloured black and yellow Digimon, by suspending this Tamer, draw 1 and gain 1. Now, the funny thing about this is, that also works for Etamon too. Which means you now have a 6-cost Etamon on the field, or a 5-cost Etamon on the field, and you just drew 2 cards. Like, there's some really good synergies in this deck with what the deck wants to do. And I could just see it going around that. Maybe it's not a tier 1 deck, but it's a good rogue deck, and it's a fun deck to play. Your opponents won't be having fun, but you'll be having fun. So there's some good synergies with this, with just having the Pawn Chessmons as basically your main rookie lineup, and then having other yellow and black Digimon on the field as well. And we have a Riser from ST19. So every turn, if you have 2 memory or less set to free, set memory setter. And then your turn, when an effect plays one of your tokens or one of your Digimon with puppet trait, spend this Tamer, one of your Digimon gains rush. Which, as you've seen before, we have quite a few things that lets play things for free. If it is your turn, which it could be, giving things rush to make it just work out the gate is really good. You can rush with things, and then if you go into something that has overclock and the thing didn't die, you can pop it to make you swing again. Incidental synergies is really good in this deck. There's just so much working for it that makes it quite interesting. And then a Riser. Start with your main phase. If your opponent has a Digimon gain 1 memory, this is from EX7. Then all turns, when one of your Digimon or tokens with the puppet trait is deleted, by suspending this Tamer, you may play 1 level 3 Digimon card with the puppet trait from your hand without paying the cost. Again, all of your level 3s are puppets. 16 of your cards are puppets, level 3s. One of them has blocker. All of them want to die. It's just so good. And then I'm pretty sure you can just keep switching this round. So if you go, let's say if you have 2 of the 4 costs on the field, you have 1 of these in the field, you play something, you get an effect, you give it rush, you rush it down, it explodes. You can use the 3 cost one to play another puppet card from your hand. The second level 4 cost Riser can then tap to give that rush. And you can do that like every turn. You know, you can get 2+ things on the field every turn with rush, swinging down at your opponent, costing almost nothing to play. And I think it's going to be a really good deck idea in the future. I do think there are just so much synergies with the deck that it could work. I just need a better ace monster. Shruby is very good, obviously, but we could do with a Cinderella ace that lets you do something very similar. That's it for now. This is the deck that I'm looking forward to playing. I am looking forward to playing Green Jesmon. We'll talk about him later down the line. But just all the puppetry and the manipulation with the deck just got me really intrigued. And I think it's a kind of version of what Numon wanted to do without having to basically be a Numon deck itself. Not having to sort of synergize with no breeding area. Because I think having access to the breeding area in this, even if it is costing you 1 every time to sort of do the ones that don't necessarily want to be played. It's going to be good. So we'll catch you guys soon. Hope you're doing well. And we'll see you at the end of September, early October, when we finally get these decks ourselves. Peace out and goodbye.